is live for Xander ZAYAS versus, I think it's Jorge Garcia. This is the third round in the main event at Madison Square Garden Theater. Both men are orthodox fighters. Jorge Garcia is the sort of leaner, lankier style fighter. But it looks like thus far, the more slightly more compact Xander ZAYAS is getting to Garcia with his very sharp stabbing jab. Good evening, Dagun. Very good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Are you a boxing fan? Sorry, I can't read any Japanese, so I can't read your post, but I appreciate you joining us on the live chat. Okay. Garcia's just missing there a little bit. Some of his punches. Garcia seems to be missing with a wide sweeping left hook to the body, but it looks like he's trying to find that left hook to the liver. However, ZAYAS is able to get to Garcia's head with that sharp jab of his. I'm gonna have to do a little research on this later to check out a little bit more about Jorge Garcia. I don't know anything about him. Hey, Dagon, how are you? Thank you. Again, Garcia misses with his wide sweeping left hook. Thus far, ZAYAS is able to dominate Garcia simply with that very effective use of the jab. Right, and then ZAYAS goes for a jab right hand right at the bell. That's it. Thus far, it's ZAYAS all 3 rounds. I also like how ZAYAS is sometimes feinting to the body and then feinting to the head rather than goes down to the body. But right now he's highly effective with his step-in jab to Garcia's head. Welcome. If you're joining us on this live, please say hi so we know who's here. We're watching a live boxing fight. This is Xander ZAYAS versus Jorge Garcia in New York City at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Hey, good evening, Isaiah. How are you? Hope I said your name right. Welcome everybody. We're watching some live boxing at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. This is Xander ZAYAS versus Jorge Garcia. We are in the 4th round, scheduled for 12. Again, Xander taking very small measured steps towards Garcia. Okay, Garcia has that long, lanky build, and he likes to open up with that lead left hook, but quite often he's missing with it. And there we go, ZAYAS with the jab to the feint jab to the head, then jab to the body. Xander ZAYAS with a nice jab right hand. So even though ZAYAS has the height and reach disadvantage versus his opponent, because he steps in at the right moment with his jab, he's able to close that distance. Are you guys boxing fans? MMA fans? We watched the UFC earlier today. It came on much earlier because it was being held at Fight Island in the United Arab Emirates. Garcia's the one moving around a little bit here in the ring, and Xander's just taking small measured steps, stays right on top of Garcia. Right now, ZAYAS hasn't needed to do much more than throw that jab. Now he's starting to open up a little bit. The jab right hand, then a left to the liver. Garcia tries to respond with several jabs to move ZAYAS back. They fall into a clinch. Which fight am I watching? We are watching Xander ZAYAS versus Jorge Garcia at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Nice jab to the body by ZAYAS. Nice slip liver shot attempt by ZAYAS. Didn't quite land flush. Now Garcia's starting to drop his lead hand, which is a little bit odd, and he's taking a little bit of punishment for that. Garcia tries to go for a left body shot, right hand. Doesn't quite connect. And ZAYAS closes out that round really strong. If you guys are watching this live, you can see they're cutting to a shot of the audience at the theater. There's not a bad house in that venue. It's great. It's a great place to see the fights. It does look like Garcia has a lot of Puerto Rican fans in the audience out there to support him. You thought I was watching Shields versus Daniels. Yeah, I couldn't get that stream to work. Let me see. Nationality or ethnicity? I'm in the United States of America. Right, and plenty of Puerto Rican flags being waved in the audience here. I'm cutting back to the ring. We're in the 5th round of 12. Xander ZAYAS versus, I think it's Jorge Garcia. Oh, Garcia with a nice right hand, right uppercut. Garcia's starting to open up a bit now. I guess he feels a sense of urgency. Interesting that Garcia's followed with the height advantage, and yet he chooses to kind of bend over a little bit at the waist. Life of a Kylie footballer. Hi, how are you? Garcia likes that high double guard. ZAYAS favors more of a classic boxing guard. ZAYAS continues to beat Garcia to the punch with his jab alone. Garcia's starting to open up with that left body shot. I'm a little bit surprised that Garcia doesn't make more use of his reach advantage. Arwa, can you swear? I mean, about what? Hi. Hello in the UK. It's already morning? Yeah, I guess it would be, wouldn't it? Happy Sunday. Oh, nice 1-2 lands by ZAYAS. Then he slips a punch and goes for the left liver shot. Very nice timing on ZAYAS' part. You can lay that if you want. You could use the emoji too, I guess, if you wanted to. I don't know how easy or hard that is on the chat. You had fun night out drinking? Okay, cool. Oh, nice right hand, left hook by ZAYAS. ZAYAS makes Garcia miss with 2 punches. They fall into a clinch. I think Garcia is a custom-made opponent for ZAYAS. I'm guessing he might sometimes fight at a lighter weight division. I'll have to check that out. That's something one should always do if you're really interested in the fight game. You want to check out the opponent's previous fights, because that's what they do sometimes. They want to bring a guy in to lose. They pick a guy from a lower weight division. So this might be the best round for Garcia thus far, because he opened up pretty strong and did manage to land a number of punches on ZAYAS. But to this point, it's still ZAYAS' I have a clean sweep of every round. All right. We are approaching the halfway point of this 12-round fight. Okay, we are in the 6th round. This is scheduled for 12. And again, Garcia chooses to start the round out kind of bent over at the waist a little bit, which I find odd, but I guess that's just how he fights from that position. Nice long right 1-2 by Garcia, but ZAYAS immediately counters with a 1-2 of his own and lands a shot to the body. Garcia kind of shells up behind a double guard to try to work his way in rather than trying to jab his way in. Both fighters standing a little more mid-range this point, and ZAYAS made Garcia miss about 3 punches in a row just by using his body movement. Another 1-2 followed by a jab. Lands very well for ZAYAS. Oh, nice jab to the body overhand right lands for ZAYAS. Garcia with a good jab. Garcia with a good counter right hook. It's a very unconventional. They weren't up jabs. They were like up right hands. So Garcia has a few odd punches in his tool bag here. Garcia throws a big looping right and misses. ZAYAS is doing a great job of staying focused throughout this fight. Nice 1-2 by ZAYAS. And then fall into a clinch. Referee separates them. You have less than a minute left in the 6th round. And it looks like Garcia's going to try to finish this round out hard. Oh, but ZAYAS catches him with a great right hand, knocks him back into the ropes momentarily. Just a few seconds left here in the 6th round of scheduled for 12. Garcia kind of walks in behind his punches to try to get to ZAYAS. And there's the bell. 6th round. 6 rounds. I'd say this is pretty much a clean sweep for Xander ZAYAS at this point. Any of you guys watch the Claressa Shields fight? Let's see. Still not able to get a stream on that. mean, Garcia is starting to do little better in the 5th and 6th rounds, but still not quite enough to definitively win those rounds. And hardest shot of that 6th round was landed by Xander ZAYAS. It was a right hand that had Garcia falling into the ropes. All right, let's see. All right, round 7 scheduled for 12. Xander ZAYAS, the up-and-coming, highly touted prospect. They're fighting at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Garcia trying to close distance here by walking in underneath his high double guard. Rather a curious style for somebody of that build. But at least he doesn't stand square the way Mario Barrios does. All right. Bit of a pause in my stream. So let's see if we can get that Claressa Shields stream. Okay, so it seems like the action slowed down just a tad here in the 7th of 12 rounds. So both men kind of stare each other down, but ZAYAS just lands a nice little check left hook as Garcia tries to step in. Oh, there you go. Now Garcia is starting to use a long stabbing jab. Because Garcia kind of leans over when he throws these punches, even though he has that height advantage and reach advantage, he puts his head right in range for ZAYAS to target. All right, any of you guys watched Claressa Shields' fight card? Let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, Garcia again tries to walk in, throws a loopy left hook and completely misses ZAYAS. D's. What's the deal? We're watching boxing. Xander ZAYAS versus Jorge Garcia. The Vargas KO was insane. I didn't see it. I have to watch the replay on that one. Right now it's all Xander ZAYAS. I have it as a clean sweep from 7 to 7 rounds. So I think this is kind of a I really do think Garcia was a custom-made opponent for him. Oh, thanks very much. Thanks for all the love, you guys. Appreciate it. First round KO within 20 seconds. That's ridiculous. So as soon as they stepped into the ring and took 3 steps across the ring, I guess he just clocked him, huh? I'll have to check that one out. That's crazy. Yeah, really nice left hook right hand combo by Xander ZAYAS. You know, classic stuff. Oh, is that Fernando Vargas's son? One of them? He has like 3 sons that are fighting right now. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but I know he has 3 sons that all fight professionally. Right. Okay. Yeah, I was a big Fernando Vargas fan myself. Thought he was a great fighter. ZAYAS with a nice jab to the body, jab to the head, a few step backs, and then he circles around. He continues to make Garcia missing. Garcia tries to work his way in just behind a high double guard. But I think that's part of the issue, you know. Garcia's just not doing himself any favors by not throwing a jab, especially since he has that height and reach. Oh, Emiliano. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. I'm sure there'll be little reels of that for sure if it only took 20 seconds. It's probably already all over social media, right? All right, here we go. Garcia trying to muster something up here. Opens up with a lead straight right. ZAYAS just nice and patient. Tried to work a left hook to the body, left hook to the head combo there. Didn't quite connect, but nice couple of jabs there by Garcia. Needs to follow up on that. Instead he goes for a left to the body, right hand. Garcia is this very sort of lanky, loopy type fighter. He's got an style, but again, when he throws that right hand, sometimes he leaves it out there, looping down, and leaves himself a little bit exposed. So it's Agent 17 says, yes, he threw a 1-2 and hit the guy across the chin, just stunned him. Okay, cool. So it was probably just perfect technique. ZAYAS with a slip left body shot. So he's looking for that body shot as well. ZAYAS very focused. Got to give him credit because it's not easy to always stay focused when you're fighting somebody with a slightly awkward style here. Okay, now we're cutting to, oh, is it Emiliano Vargas? Yeah, Emiliano Fernando Vargas. He's already in the audience, all suited up with his little, I don't know what that is, a WBC belt. All right, so I was able to get the Claressa Shields footage, or fight rather, stream. They're showing her warming up in the change room. Kind of odd they have so many people in the change room who clearly have nothing to do with boxing. They're cutting to Abdullah Mason in the audience as well. Okay, so we're waiting on Shields versus Daniels on that card. Oh, hang on, I just lost my stream with ZAYAS. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, a little bit of a stall here on my stream for ZAYAS. Cutting to Lani Daniels in her change room, warming up on the mitts with her trainer. Looks like she's a 1-2 specialist here. Double jab right hand. All right, I'm not sure what's going on with my ZAYAS stream, but it's just stalling on me. Hang on one sec. Alright, sorry for the delay, you guys, but we're trying to get the stream back for ZAYAS Garcia. But thus far, it's been pretty much a one-sided show with with ZAYAS winning, I think, every single round, 1 through 7. Garcia has had his moments, but it's just not sustained enough for him to win a round. Alright, so I apologize because I'm still buffering with the ZAYAS stream, and it looks like I now have better quality on the Claressa Shields stream. So that's interesting. Shields fight through Salida Promotions. Her promoter is, of course, Dimitri Salida. That's being shown on DAZN. So you have to recognize the fact that Dimitri Salida has done really well for himself. He was at one point a rated 140-pounder. Never really got any, as they say, big fights. Oh, nice uppercut there by Garcia. Landed on ZAYAS, kind of snapped his head back a little bit. And this is the 9th round already of 12. So Garcia is starting to come alive here in the last few rounds of this fight. So that was the 9th round. We got 10, 11, 12, 3 more rounds. A little blood coming from ZAYAS' nose at this point. I'm not sure if that's his father working the corner or not, but looks like a packed house in Michigan where they're showing Claressa's fight. Yeah, that was a nice right uppercut that landed well for Garcia. So I can't really hear the corner work. Interesting. Garcia's corner has his arms elevated above his head, crossed like that. All right, so Garcia has 3 rounds remaining to try to make something happen here for himself. ZAYAS still looking nice and fresh on his feet, bouncing, moving deftly in and out to the side, cutting back. Really nice footwork by ZAYAS. And again, ZAYAS starting with this single jabs, jab to the head, jab to the body, another jab to the body. Steps away when Garcia tries to open up with a long left hook. So Garcia needs to really start putting combinations together. And he's got such a sort of unusual style or way of throwing punches that I can see why he might be very awkward or difficult for his opponents to figure out. But that said, he's simply not had enough output to win any of these rounds versus Xander ZAYAS, the up-and-coming, highly touted prospect. Okay, on the Claressa Shields card, we're still going through all the preliminary stuff. I shouldn't call it preliminary stuff, but the national anthem and whatnot. Garcia's chasing ZAYAS around the ring now behind his jab, but Garcia's chasing ZAYAS around the ring with his jab, but ZAYAS just continues to move away. He's got excellent footwork. They fall into a clinch against the ropes, and the ref separates them. Nice 1-2 by ZAYAS. ZAYAS with a nice left hook to the body, left hook to the head, right body shot. And we have less than 20 seconds to go here in this 7th round. Garcia tries to step in behind the jab, but it's not really effective for him. ZAYAS with a nice left hook at the end of the exchange there. And that's it for the 10th round. We have 2 more rounds to go, championship rounds, as we say. Xander ZAYAS versus Jorge Garcia. And the Claressa Shields Lani Daniels fight is about to get underway. We have the announcer in the ring. Looks like Daniels is walking first. Okay, ZAYAS has great footwork. Yes, he does. He seems to clinch a bit. What is my opinion on a fighter being on their bike for majority of the fight? Are you referring to ZAYAS, or? I don't really think he's on his bike. He's winning these rounds just with very basic boxing combinations and his footwork. But honestly, if he wants to learn while, which I'm sure he wants to learn while he's fighting, which should be every fighter's goal, they need to get him a slightly higher level opposition than Garcia. Garcia is one of these guys who's difficult because he's got an unusual and a little bit awkward style, but it's not enough to really challenge ZAYAS. So you need to put ZAYAS in there with another fighter who's also got very good fundamentals, who can so that way ZAYAS can't beat the guy simply on fundamentals. Okay. Thank you, though. Great questions. Appreciate that, Zahan. All right, so we got Daniels on the women's side. We got Lani Daniels in the ring. We're waiting for the star of this card, Miss Claressa Shields. All right, so in the ZAYAS fight, the referee is actually down on his knees with a towel, wiping off the Miller Lite logo in the center of the ring. I guess it's just too slippery there. So someone needs to throw the ref a tip. All right, men resume action back in the center of the ring. In Michigan, Lani Daniels is jumping all over the place. I hope she doesn't use all of her energy up dancing in the ring before the fight starts. Oh, nice left body shot by Garcia lands. Very nice hook to the body, hook to the head by ZAYAS. We've got the halfway point here in this penultimate round between Jorge Garcia and the highly touted prospect Xander ZAYAS. Nice 1-2 lands for ZAYAS. I would tend to agree, though, Zahan. I wouldn't say that ZAYAS is on his bike, but he just, when he senses that Garcia is about to attack, he kind of moves away. But what he needs to do if he wants to get to the next level is learn how to kind of stay in the pocket and make a guy like Garcia miss, and then counter right off of that. But this all takes time for a younger fighter to learn. See, like right there, he just kept dancing away, but, he's got to learn how to just cut angles and stay within fighting range for himself. Like what he's doing right now, I would agree he's a little more on his bike, and then he comes back in with a flurry. So that's kind of an amateur mentality, to throw a flurry, get out, run around, come back in, throw a flurry, get out, run around. Whereas a pro, you're going to close the distance, throw your punches, stay in the pocket, cut little angles, force your opponent to move, and then counter. Zahan is asking, this is 154, Fandor and Bakram's weight class. Well, I mean, ZAYAS is still a very young pro, regardless of his age and regardless of how many fights he has. Just the way he fights, like I was explaining, he fights like an advanced amateur a little bit. Because he's either offense or he's all the way out running around, and then he's back to offense, all the way running around again. You have to learn as a pro how to get in, get your shots off, just barely get out of range, make your opponent miss, and then counter them. It's not about getting all the way out so neither one of you can connect. It's about being able to stay within range but make them miss and you land your shots. That's what a real pro is able to do. All right, so here we go. It's the final round between ZAYAS and Garcia. I expect this to be a clean sweep for Xander ZAYAS at the theater at Madison Square Garden. All right, so Claressa Shields is coming out with a rapper whom I don't recognize. Not my thing. I guess this is supposed to be the Claressa Shields party, right? At least she has her parties in the arena and not at her house the day before or whatever. All right, final round for ZAYAS and Garcia. Garcia is still trying to work behind that high double guard. Throw some awkward lead rights. ZAYAS falls into the clinch. See, that's another thing. He has to learn how to fight on the inside and not just clinch up. Alright. So, got just under 2 minutes remaining in this 12th and final round. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a clean sweep for Xander. But let's see how this plays out. Again, they fall into a clinch. Garcia going for some sweeping left hooks. Not quite Hail Mary punches, but and again, ZAYAS with these nice, clean, single jabs. ZAYAS misses with a left hook. Oh, but throws a uppercut right hand left hook that really snaps Garcia's head. Nice combination. Okay, so then that clinching business, that's also very sort of amateurish, right? Because he doesn't know how to fight on the inside yet. ZAYAS, I'm talking about. Thanks for that, Zahan. Yeah, that's up to his coach. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, when a fighter's undefeated and they say, well, you're still winning, so why change anything? But that's kind of the whole point. You need to, even though you're winning, you want to keep learning every single fight. So, again, see, he clinches up with Garcia. And there's like about 10 seconds left here. Garcia with a flurry to the body and the head. Nothing substantial lands. And here, yes, we have ZAYAS. So yes, I think I can see some things that ZAYAS needs to work on because an opponent of a higher caliber would make him pay for this sort of amateurish mentality that he has. And there we go. He jumps up on the ropes, or tries to, rightfully so. I mean, I think that was a clean sweep for ZAYAS. I don't think they're going to give any rounds to Garcia. But I am curious. I'll look this up later. I'm curious to know what Garcia's history is and if this is his true weight division. And also, I'm also curious to know how much notice he had for this fight. All right, so we are waiting for Shields versus Daniels. Lani's got a shirt on. She's just so exuberant. Looks so happy to be there. posturing for the crowd. I'm not sure what PPY push represents, but oh, Zahan, you think they might give Garcia a couple rounds? We have a much more sedate Claressa Shields standing in her corner. Not sure what they're waiting on. Okay. All right. Well, we got some spam. Wouldn't be a live stream without the spam, right? All right, here we go. They're just announcing Claressa. All right, my stream kind of seized up here. There we got Dimitri Salita, her promoter, standing right there next to her. You got to give him props because he signed her straight out of, her second Olympic gold medal. I mean, I honestly thought that one of the other promoters would make a move like Top Rank or Golden Boy, because at least Oscar's a little bit younger than Bob Arum, who's as old as dirt. I can understand why someone of Bob Arum's generation would just stay 10 feet away from women's boxing, but you'd hope the younger guy, Del Hoya, would be more accepting of women in boxing. But nevertheless, it was Dimitri Salita that signed Claressa from the get-go and has remained her promoter throughout her career up to this point. And I think he's done well. He's done the right thing for Claressa. He's got her to be the main event, got her, on DAZN. She even had a pay-per-view event. Okay, got a little wardrobe adjustment here for Claressa. Make it to the center of the ring. Listen to the ref's final instructions. All right. In New York City at the theater, we have ZAYAS and Garcia standing center. Or standing in the ring, having a conversation. It looks like ZAYAS is doing most of the talking. Not sure if this is going down in English or Spanish, but okay, and a very sedate Claressa Shields. Now bouncing a little bit in her corner. Daniels looks to be like a very upbeat personality. All right, here we go. Both women fighting out of orthodox. Daniels right away with some pumping jabs. So Daniels is moving around, throwing jabs, but she's not really throwing them to land just yet because they're about 6 inches or more short of their target. Daniels is the one moving around, throwing that jab out there. Claressa is just staying right on top of her. Got her hands over her, crossed over her chest. It was a big one too, but doesn't connect. Daniels is using a lot of stuttery motions to try to feint Claressa out. So women's rounds, I believe, these are just going to be 2-minute rounds. So we're already at the halfway mark here in the first round of Daniels versus Shields, heavyweight. Daniels is dancing around the ring here. A lot of movement for a heavyweight fighter. Claressa really loading up on a double jab right hand right there. Something tells me Claressa wants a knockout. Claressa started kind of mocking Daniels by making some goofy gesturing motions with her hands. Wouldn't advise that. Daniels makes fun of Shields back. Shields loads up and misses. And Daniels drops her hands to her thighs for a moment, and they start talking smack to each other at this point. Claressa loads up with a big right hand. Isn't able to land anything of substance, and that's the bell. Okay, so on ZAYAS' side, no surprise. He wins. I guess he just won a minor belt. Or maybe a major belt. I don't know. Hi, free 111. Welcome to the live stream. We're watching Claressa Shields versus Lani Daniels. We just finished watching Xander ZAYAS defeat Jorge Garcia. Pretty one-sided affair. But I did see some of the amateurish type habits or mentality in ZAYAS that he's going to have to get past if he wants to really do well as a professional. All right, second round of Claressa versus Lani. Claressa lands a jab, which kind of sends Lani's head back a little bit. Lani doing a lot of lateral movement here in the ring. Claressa trying to hunt her down, just loading up on these punches. Daniels dancing around, able to make Claressa miss with a couple of jabs. Daniels with tons of feint jabs that are nowhere near connecting. I'm not sure what Daniels' game plan is here. I guess we'll find out as this unfolds. And Claressa with a series of jabs there, 3 jabs in a row. Now, unfortunately for Claressa, the female heavyweight division is not as sort of cachet as the men's heavyweight division. All right, Claressa loads up with a big right hand there and completely misses. So we got Daniels kind of just moving around laterally, making Claressa miss, but not launching a lot of offense of her own. And there's about 30 seconds left in this round. Women fight 10 2-minute rounds for a world title instead of 12 threes. So 20 minutes of action versus 36 minutes. Daniels throws a jab, doesn't quite land it. Claressa with the 1-2, but the referee's blocking the view from the camera. Claressa really loading up here. Daniels is in the corner. And that's the round. See, that's the other problem with the 2-minute round. Just when things get interesting, it's over. Hello, Suzerain. Good to see you guys. Who are these guys? Which guys? So the live fight that's on right now is Claressa Shields and Lani Daniels. That's a female heavyweight fight. Xander ZAYAS just defeated Jorge Garcia in New York City for some sort of title because it was a 12-rounder. Pretty dominant performance by ZAYAS, but I think Garcia was a custom-made opponent. So good flurry by Claressa right at the end of the round. Did get Daniels in a little bit of trouble. She's trying to do that slip and dip motion, but she's going to need to land some shots on Claressa herself if she wants to get any respect. Right now, Daniels is doing a lot of sidestepping around the edge of the ring. Then she bends over at the waist and tries to slip and dip. Woman in a clinch. Break apart. Daniels again moving around on the outside. Claressa being the hunter, just taking slow steps to walk her down. Or small steps, I should say. And Claressa, again, with the big 1-2, misses that too. Clarissa's really loading up on her punches. I really honestly think the only reason Claressa switched over to MMA is not because she thought she was going to be good at MMA. She just wanted more attention, quite literally. Because unfortunately for her, you know, being a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, being a multiple-time world champion, as a female combat athlete, you know, the women in the UFC for sure, and even to a certain extent in the PFL get, you know, much more publicity than she does, or just more well-known than Claressa is. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of where women's boxing is at the moment. But I don't honestly think we're going to see her do much more with MMA, because she's just, her skill set is so lacking to take that on. You know, literally she has 2 weapons out of 8 for striking, and then none for wrestling and none for ground fighting. Right, and now Claressa caught Daniels and closed. Daniels again doing that slipping and dipping. Claressa is just flurrying with a lot of hook punches. All right, then we see the 120-year-old Bob Arum congratulating someone who could be his great-grandson, Xander ZAYAS. Everyone's taking pics with ZAYAS and his belt. All right, we got Claressa on the stool between rounds here. Not sure who the trainer is. I don't remember his name. Zahan says Taraji is fighting in a few days. That should be good. Yeah, I saw that. It's like just 2 days, 2 or 3 days, Wednesday. All right, Zahan, you got to call it a night. Understood. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate all your comments and insights. Great questions, too. Please do check out, you know, some of the other videos on the stream, Zahan. If you haven't already subscribed, that would be awesome. Throw us a like, throw us a super chat or a super thanks sometime if you enjoy the content. But it was a pleasure having you here on the live. So I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful Sunday. All right, so Zaya's making his way through the audience, saying hi to everybody. Shields back in action here with Lani Daniels. Women are standing center ring now. Shields holding her ground. That half shell guard starts to open up on Daniels. Honestly, Daniels has kind of given away the round simply due to not having enough offense, and now she's starting to finally open up, but the women are falling into a bit of a clinch. How good is Nicole Sky? To be honest, Susan, I really haven't paid any attention to her, so I couldn't tell you. Nice snapping jab there by Claressa Shields. Oh, and the ref is warning Daniels to keep her head up because she keeps dipping down low. But you know what? You're allowed to do that in pros. All right, we got about half a minute left here with Shields versus Daniels. Suzerain says, oh, she's unremarkable? I don't know. I've honestly never really paid any attention to. I don't actually watch a lot of female boxing. There has to be a really compelling fight. And, you know, no diss to either of these two women, but I don't consider this a really compelling fight. I don't know that heavyweight is the ideal weight for Claressa. I mean, it's nice that she can put on weight, but you know, I think this is just, you know, she felt like she had to take on another challenge, so she moved up in weight, but, you know, I don't know what to say about that. You know, I can't blame her for feeling like, you know, she's done everything she wants to do at a lower weight division, but you know, like I said, unfortunately for the women, it's not like Usyk moving from cruiser to heavyweight, you know, that made a huge difference in his paycheck. It's not, the same does not hold true for women, so not sure what the incentive is, other than to just conquer another weight division. All right, here we go. These runs might go quickly in a female fight. This is round 5 of 10, so we're almost at the halfway point here. Daniel's starting to open up a little bit and stand closer, right in the center of the ring. She's still constantly dipping down to her right side, which is why the ref was, well, the ref honestly I don't think should say anything in a pro fight about that, but all right, so now Daniel's starting to circle away to her right. Claressa just stays right in front of her, takes those small calculated steps. Just landed several single jabs. Hey Logan, they should stop this to spare us. Well, it'll be over soon enough. I honestly wasn't planning on watching this, but it just happened to be on. I happened to figure, what the heck, I'll check out the ZAYAS fight, and Claressa's fight started halfway through it, so, or partway through it. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is by no means a high-level fight here, unfortunately. Yeah, that's why, you know, people can say what they want to say about Dana White and the UFC and his pay scale, all of that, but, you know, he did actually, even though he was opposed to women's MMA initially and said never going to have it, when he did decide to open the sport up for women's MMA, he did what he needed to do to build the sport. He didn't just build a star, which is, you know, what they've done here with Claressa Shields. You know, no diss to Dimitri Salita, that's what he's supposed to do. But that's the boxing model. You sign a female and you build her into star. But that doesn't help the sport grow, because you just keep bringing in B-side opponents for the female that you signed, and nobody knows who the heck they are. They've never seen the opponent before. So there's no narrative to really follow. You know, it's a completely different thing with the UFC. You know, we had all these back and forths with Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes, and it goes on, right? With Rose Namajunas and Joanna, Rose Namajunas and Zhang Weili. You know, you have all these, you have an entire sport here. Dana built out all the women's divisions so that they were competitive, and that, you know, the level of the sport's only going to get better when the women are actually competitive, because it forces everybody to keep, as they say, ratcheting up their game, right? So whether you like Dana White or not, whether you think he should be involved in boxing or not, he certainly did right by women's MMA. All right, and here we're seeing a few highlights of Claressa Shields landing some nice body shots in Daniels. So far, this is a shutout. Daniels seems content to be moving around the ring. I've never seen any of her fights before, so I can't comment on whether this is typical or, you know. But we are now in round, what? Are we in round 6 of 10? So just 10 more minutes, Logan. Hang in there. You'd listen if I read a phone book? Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, how is the sound on this stream, by the way? One thing I want to do, one of my goals is to improve the sound quality on all my videos. And right now I'm like using, like for the breakdown and whatnot, I'm using like one of these things. And what I don't like about it is how it makes the words with the S's sound, because you get that little kickback every time you say something with the or ch or S. It sounds like crap on these things. But I'm also not going to spend $200 on a mic just to see. So I'm open to suggestions from anybody out there who has some knowledge about these, like, you know, portable mics, because preferably I could use, I don't really want to get a full separate mic system for doing the lives, but I guess if I have to, I will. Sorry guys, I'm being distracted by my cat who's up to something, I don't know what. Anyways, alright, back to the fight. Claressa with her jabs, hunting Daniel down, loads up on a big overhand right. Now, thus far, Daniels has been able to avoid those big rights by leaning over to her right. But now, Claressa's getting a little wise and starting to load up on those body shots. Curious to know what Daniels and her corner came up with as far as the game plan goes. Looks like her trainer's saying something about throwing punches and then leaning in or something. I'm not sure what he's getting at here. But at this point, Daniels needs a stoppage if she wants to win this fight. So it doesn't look good for her. All right, Logan, are you more of a boxing fan or more of an MMA fan, or both, or neither? That's always an option too. Guys, if you're enjoying this stream or you've enjoyed some of the videos you've seen, you're always welcome to leave a super chat, or you can leave a super thanks on one of the videos. All right, here we go. 7th round out of 10. Women are standing toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Daniel's covering up a little bit now. Claressa just is flurrying with her body shot. She's doing that half shell guard against the ropes. A couple of double jabs land for Shields. Now Shields puts herself in the corner because she's going to try to do her greatest Floyd Mayweather impersonation. Shields comes back out of the corner with some clubbing right hands. See, unfortunately for Claressa, this is just not high-level, skillful boxing. I mean, it's skillful enough, but it's not high-level. So, I mean, this is hard for her because I know she's the main event. So on one hand, she probably wants to handpick her opponent. On the other hand, she's got to try to find a dance partner that so she can show off her skills a bit. Logan says, I was big on boxing from the late 90s until HBO stopped showing. Yeah, I get that. Now I'm more into UFC kickboxing, and I'm a casual boxing fan. I 100% get that. I mean, it's such a shame when HBO just walked away from it, but I mean, I can understand that just because of the business of that, of HBO and Showtime. I mean, I'm not sure who they're owned by, but boxing is no longer profitable for them, even if the pay-per-view, you know, why should they invest in it? And then the other problem is, at this point, as you can tell, all these titles are controlled by the promoters. The promoter, the commission, and the sanctioning body, they're all buddies, you know, having dinners together and whatnot. There's so like, for example, the Pacquiao-Barrios fight. Well, how did Barrios ever become a world champion to begin with? You can listen to one of my breakdowns where I kind of go over that. But all just groomed. It's all grooming by the promoter in conjunction with the different state athletic commissions and the sanctioning bodies. So it's all smoke and mirrors. So, you know, HBO would never pay for that. HBO would never pay to watch a Mario Barrios fight anybody. So, you know, that the promoters are taking advantage of the fact that they can get away with this crap now because they don't have to try to sell it to Showtime or HBO, you know? Hey, what's up, Carlos? Very good to see you here. We just finished watching ZAYAS defeat a fellow named Jorge Garcia at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Pretty dominant performance over 12. I believe he walks away with the belt for that. I don't even, you know, but he's got a lot of work to do. Now we're watching Claressa Shields versus Lani Daniels for the women's heavyweight belt. This is the 8th round. Only got 6 more minutes. Hang in there, Logan. Carlos, which fight sucked? The ZAYAS fight? Okay, now we got Daniels pressing Shields in the corner. I think that's what her trainer was calling for her, to throw punches and then try to press in with her shoulder on Shields. So she seems to be doing what her trainer asked for. Shields is just angry there, trying to swat at Daniels, but I mean, no doubt Claressa throws hard, but a nice little uppercut to the body right there. But Daniels is just standing her ground, and Claressa's not really able to do much damage to her, so nice sneaky little right uppercut there by Daniels, and then she clinches. Less than 30 seconds to go here in the 8th round. What does the XP thing mean on the corner of the screen? Which screen? You mean the boxing fight screen or this YouTube screen? Claressa is caught in the corner, but just loading up, wailing at Lani Daniels. Again, very loopy right hand, so not, you know, I'd like to see more straight right hands for Shields. She wants to call herself the GOAT. She's got to have those essential boxing skills down. XP thing on this screen, I don't see it, so I don't know what to tell you. Very strange. Yeah. How's the sound, and is the video coming through okay, like, or is it pixelated? Which corner is it in, Carlos? Upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left? Oh, there's like a crown. I just see a crown that says top fans. I don't know. I don't even know. Okay, so let me click on this and see what. Oh, so if I touch that, then it shows, I think, how many times people have commented. I don't know if you touch that little icon, maybe it shows you a list of how many times people have commented in the chat. I guess that's what it's for. I don't know, man. Okay. All right, nice 1-2 by Daniels. She's got 2 rounds, 4 minutes to make something happen here. Right now, Claressa backing up, putting herself in a corner, which makes no sense whatsoever to me. I mean, I don't know if she's trying to show off by doing that, or she knows that, like, that's something, a Floyd Mayweather move, so she's got to do it. Now she's starting to work her way out of the corner. I mean, nice defensive moves by Daniel, but Daniel needs to pick up on the offense, you know? Okay. There was a good little, getting some good little exchanges here. Daniels is able to just dip under all these punches that Claressa's throwing, and so that takes all the power off of Claressa's punches. Now, Claressa's throwing these little whippy hooks too, so she's not doing herself any favors. She's not throwing like a lot of straight punches, except for her jab. All right, half a minute left here. Logan, are you still alive? Don't die on us. Nice left body shot by Shields. I mean, this is all Shields, you know, there's no way. I don't think they're even going to give Daniels 1 round. If Daniels didn't have one of these belts, this fight wouldn't be happening. I mean, you know, Claressa was just on a hunt for belts, so I think that's what this is about. All right, Logan, we only got one more round left. 2 whole minutes of this. I agree with you. This is a tough watch. Carlos, in my opinion, this is even tougher than ZAYAS. Anyways. What do I think about journals? I think they're a great idea. I feel like I should write in one more and more often. Helps you process thoughts and probably emotions. So yeah, I think it's a healthy thing. I do keep a journal like that I write in first thing in the morning and last thing before I go to sleep, but it's not super insightful. So I do want to make a habit of writing a little more. All right, so now we're getting a little more of an exchange. Daniels with shields on the rope, standing toe to toe. Again, not high level stuff here, unfortunately, but it is a fight. Surely Daniels must know that she needs a stoppage to get a win here. With just over a minute left, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But at least Daniels can be proud of herself for letting it all out there in this last round. Shields seems determined to stand with her back on the ropes and do her best impersonation of Floyd Mayweather. Again, Claressa puts herself in the corner. The thing is, if you're going to do that and you don't have all that slickness, I don't, like it's, why would you put yourself in the corner to throw these types of punches? It doesn't make any sense to me, but. All right, less than 30 seconds. Hang in there, Logan, if you're still here. Oh, and some good exchanges right here in this last round. Punches landing for both fighters. Again, fall into a clinch. Shields starts to walk Daniels back. We got 10 seconds of this left. Final flurries. And that's it. Now I have a funny feeling they're going to give it every single round to Shields. Shields walks back to her corner, both hands raised. I don't think that's any surprise. Daniels walks over, the women hug each other. Big smile from Daniels. Unfortunately for her, she likely just lost her belt, but it is what it is. All right, do you guys want to stick around for the decision? I'm kind of pooped myself. I kind of want to just call it an evening, if that's okay with you, Carlos. Let's see. Do check out the post-fight Manny breakdown. That'll be up tomorrow at 2. Yeah, so we'll see you later, Carlos. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining today.